All right. Looks like we're live. What's up, everyone? This is Cameron from Supportive Fathers. I am getting ready to go ahead and interview Mr. Brandon Wiley. He is from an um, organization called OpenedEyes, which I'm part of. I've been part of the OpenedEyes team for the past 6 years, but I am going to go ahead and interview Brandon. We're going to talk about some things regarding diversity and mindfulness and a couple other topics. But let me go ahead and have him join us. Waiting for him, adding him in now. Hey,
Okay.
how's it going, man?
Yeah, what's up, brother?
Hey, not much. Let me turn this up so I can hear you. All right. How you, everything going all right?
Good, man. Good. I'm excited to be here, bro.
Hey, I'm excited to have you on too.
Yeah,
I just
man.
gotta figure out something real quick. The volume is down
Can you
for
hear me
some
all right?
reason. What's that?
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. Oh, you know what? One second. I think I'm talking through my watch, so turn off the Bluetooth. All right, go ahead and try again.
How's that now?
That's better. And then let me make sure I hit the do not disturb on my phone so that way no one
That's a good point.
someone might try to call or something. So I don't want the anything to get interrupted while we're talking. So um we'll go ahead and jump right into this, man. I know your time is valuable. I know other people are watching. I see people jumping in right now. So
Yeah,
I
cool.
want you. I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. The question I'm going to ask you: who are you? What do you do? And tell us about yourself and organization.
Awesome, man. So I'm Brandon Wiley. Uh, I'm from Erie. I'm originally from Sharon, Pennsylvania, but I've been living in Erie for quite some time now. I'm a licensed professional counselor, and I do some work at the Erie VA Medical. I'm a suicide prevention coordinator there. And so
Okay.
I've been doing that for about 4 years now. And of course, my organization, I, which you had you had mentioned you're a part of. And of course, I appreciate you so much for being a part of it. Cameron's the man. So, we've been rocking for like, how long now, Cam?
It's been 6 years in May since we started from day one.
6 years in May. Okay, okay. So, but we know each other for what? How long now? Like, I mean, like even before that.
Yeah, because we're fraternity brothers, so over 10 years at this point.
Man, time's going by fast.
Oh, most definitely, man.
But yeah, man. So Open Eyes is my organization. I started that, like I said, about 6 years ago, and we focus on diversity education. So we basically essentially, we conduct workshops and trainings and things of that nature. I do motivational speaking, so I'm at schools, college campus, so on and so forth. Doing things for the different various organizations. So I love it. It's mine. OpenedEyes, I feel like is like I said, it's my baby. It's my project, and like I said, it's something that I feel like it's important right now, especially in things that are going on in our country. I love speaking on diversity related issues, and it's just I just take so much pride in it, and like I said, it's my life was kind of geared around diversity and identity crisis related issues. So for me growing up, I'm from an interracial relationship. My mom is white, my dad is black. Dealing with all of that stuff is very very confusing at times, and it's very it challenged me in ways that I never thought that I would be challenged, and I feel like it almost had to force me to grow up a little bit faster to try to and
Mm-hmm.
have that and find my place in this world, because I didn't know if I needed to take a side, or do I need to dress this way, do I need to act this way, so on and so forth. So there was a lot of confusion that I had, and it affected me from a you know, from a mental health standpoint, which is why I eventually, you know, started to get involved in mental health. So it's tough, man. It's tough. But you know, I got to a point in my life where I wanted to use struggle and use my my pain and flip it and use it for something positive and use it for something, you know, motivating. And
Right.
so when I got to, you know, when I got to grad school and I started thinking about, you know, again, the direction I wanted to go with my life and you know, how I wanted to use my skills, how I wanted my talents to better this world. You know, eventually OpenedEyes came to me, and you know, I manifested it. I think that's the beauty of you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. I I've seen you from day one. Once this started, you know, kind of just took off and everything, and the many conversations we both had in regards to open eyes and diversity and everything. So I'm gonna piggyback off of the whole diversity standpoint of open
Sure.
eyes, and I'm gonna ask you, Wired Talks. You know, bring this back to my page. You know, supporting fathers and everything and families. So Wire talks about diversity important in today's social climate, and how can families go about doing this?
Well, you know, I mean, it's pretty simple. Let's take a, you know, turn on the news real quick, you know, and let's look at what's going on in our society. You know, of course, it seems like that this has been, you know, diversity and topics of relations are a hot topic right now. But you know, we've been experiencing issues for years, man. I mean, it's been a part of, you know, society. It's been a part of U.S. history. You know, it's so forth. It's just what it is, and I feel situations like George Floyd, you know, have brought a light to it, and
Mm-hmm.
it's encouraged, and it's, you know, I guess really put a fire under people's butts to say, hey, boom, there's a significant issue going on right now in our country.
Right.
We do have to pay attention to it. So I feel my program, you know, with Opened Eyes is an opportunity to essentially provide people with education, provide people with enlightenment, to provide people with, you know, again, a direction on how we address issues. How can we, you know, utilize better and healthier dialogue. And so
Right.
I think that we need to have these hard discussions, and in order for us to move forward, be able to reach across the board, we need to be able to people who are different from us. We need to be what I call active listeners. And when I
Right.
say listening, I mean we need to listen, understand, and not listen to respond. And we do that too.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to hear what anybody has to say. It's like you're talking to me, like you and I are talking right now. We call
Right.
it noise. So if you're not hearing what I'm saying, then you're just going to be like, okay, next question. I'm not even, you know, next question. You're listening to what I'm saying. You're understanding where I'm coming from. You feel me? So and vice versa. And that's how
Right.
we that's how we communicate. That's the importance, and I think that's the piece that we're lacking in our country or just in our world from a person to person interaction standpoint. It's we're lacking that active listening, and it's so essential. And you know, and I think that what I offer in my trainings and what I offer in my talks is an opportunity for people just to sit back and really challenge themselves and reflect on certain things and ask themselves even the hard questions. I always start my presentations in my workshop off as everybody in here has a prejudice of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And we all have prejudices. We all have what we call implicit bias, right?
Right.
So we have it could be unconscious. You know, implicit bias is essentially an unconscious bias. It's an unconscious behavior that we might not recognize we have. Excuse me. So to bring that to the forefront and to address it is healthy. It's mentally healthy. It's physically healthy. It's spiritually healthy. And we need to address in our biases if we want to improve relations. So that's what I'm doing with Open Eye. That's the message I'm trying to really pump is let's have a conversation. Let's listen to one another and have dialogue. We can talk about our differences. That's cool because we're all unique. We all have, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not all the
Right.
same. And it's okay to have differences. But at the end of the day, I want to hear you out. I know what you feel. I want to know how you're hurt. Tell me why you're hurt. And I want to understand. Even if I can't walk in your shoes, help me understand. And maybe we can solve it together. And we can do it, you know, in unison to progress and to fight these social justice related issues. We're not going to do it if we're going to cut each other off. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So as a parent, then, so say I'm a parent and I want to go about this, but I don't know how. What suggestions would you give to parents to start that conversation, whether it's with their spouse, their mother or father, or maybe with their children?
Yeah. So I want to reference real quickly. You know, years ago we did an event in Cameron. You probably remember this. We did our "What Are You Youth" art gallery youth.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a woman came up to me, and she was a white woman, and she came up to me and she said, and basically for those of you who are joining in, the "What Are You" art gallery event was basically we challenge kids to draw a picture of themselves, asking the question to them, "What are you? How do you draw? What are you? How do you see yourself? How do you view yourself?" Very powerful event. You remember that, Cam?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
so, you know, we hung up all the kids' pictures. We invited the families, so on and so forth. And this one family came through, and they said, and one woman, white woman, she's like, I love this idea. I love the topic of diversity. And I don't know how to talk to my daughter about diversity. And who am I to talk to my kid about diversity? I'm just a white woman. And I stopped her right there and I said, who are you not to talk about it? You have to talk about it. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't, yourself to in your family a disservice. And so it's essential for people to uh, you know, talk to their families about it, to educate themselves. You know, it's okay. We're ignorant in areas that, of course, that we don't know or that we're not familiar with. And okay, recognize that. You know, own up to that. Ignorance is we have to educate ourselves that I'm ignorant to, that I need to educate on. I'm not. I'm at a point in my life where I'm not afraid to admit that. And so
Right.
I want to become less ignorant. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to seek out people, seek out information, and I'm going to seek out resources that can help me become in that area. So I challenge families to sit down and have that, you know, that old school type of, you know, family kick it type of lifestyle where they're just talking about things and talking about life and talking about people's days and what they experienced or who they encountered and how did that make them feel on it. You know, we got to stop being afraid of and being and you know, constructive criticisms. You know, sometimes we get too, like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes, I don't want to say soft because that sounds, you know, but sometimes we do seem that, and it's just like, you know, we take things to heart, we internalize it, then we doubt ourselves, and then we just fade out, and that's it.
Okay.
We can't do that. You know what I mean? We have to rise to the occasion. We have to educate ourselves, and we have to seek out people who are different from us, and not to be afraid to have conversations with them.
That's some great stuff, man. I really appreciate that for anyone out there that's listening to this right now live. You know that because I very well I you know for myself from a blog that I've written, I've gotten that question myself. How do I go about having this conversation? And that's great information. Seek out resources and other kinds of things. And so now next I want to ask you this question because it's also related to open eyes. And I want you to speak more on the mindfulness piece and why incorporating that into your life and your home is important, and how does one go about this? If you know, someone might watch this and say, "What is mindfulness?" So first, let's define what mindfulness is, and then why is it important, and how do you incorporate it?
Okay, so yeah, mindfulness is a central part of eyes, and I feel like it's one of our unique parts in our
Oh, snap. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was lagging for a quick, so I don't know what happened.
Okay, we good?
Yeah, we're good. All right, can you start over? I'm sorry, I can't hear what you said.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah, so I was saying essentially, mindfulness is this awareness piece, and it's about being in the present moment, and it's such an important part of OpenedEyes' curriculum. And we talk about a lot about mindfulness and diversity, and how it's important to understand your diverse self as well as the diverse world around you, because we are diverse in ourselves, because we're unique people. And I think
Mm-hmm.
we don't focus so much on that, because we tend to think, mindfulness, diversity is this black or white type of thing, but mindfulness is so much more, and or diversity is so much more, and being mindful of that is essential. So mindfulness essentially is like awareness and being in the moment. One of my favorite type of therapies is a therapy called Gestalt therapy. And literally
I'm
Gestalt
very
therapy,
familiar with that.
yeah, you familiar? I know you are. And so Gestalt therapy, for those of you who don't know, is a therapy of the here and now, of being in the present moment. So when I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking, and even I do this in therapy, when I'm in when I'm in a session, I want to be in the session with that individual. I want to be in the present moment. And excuse me, I'm going to go back into the room to make sure that the connection is still good here. So I want to be in the present moment with my people. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in the past. I don't want to be in the future. Because sometimes when people come into a session, they have so much going on in their minds, and they're just absolutely like stressed. They're thinking about what happened a day from a day, a day ago, 2 days ago, 5 days ago, a year ago, 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're in the session, they're thinking about the future, what's to come, what's going to happen 5 years from now, what's going to happen 10 years from now. And so, and this is how life is, right? Like, this is how we throw ourselves into spirals. We get so in our head and so in our thoughts that we can't think of anything else, and we miss this gift, which is called the present moment. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
this is being mindful. This is and it's not a bad thing to think about. It's okay to have goals. Your past is never going to be gone completely. The idea is to grow from the past, and the idea is to be in the moment, to make this moment better so you can have a bright future. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes.
I think it's and it does. It seems to be, and I see my Bordick. He left a comment too. I appreciate you, Bordick.
I
And
wrote the same exact thing in a blog, in one of my blog posts. Past leads to depression, future leads to anxiety, present leads to peace.
yeah,
I'm with you there. The analogy I always use in regards to this is, say for example, and anyone's listening right now, anyone that's driving, you have, when you're driving, your physical presence is in the car driving, and then you're
yes,
driving, and then you have to ask yourself, did I run the last 3 red lights? That tells you your mind is in the present moment. Your mind's wherever it's at. So your mind is not matching where you are physically. So it's important, and like you said, when you're in your sessions and things like that. And mindfulness is one of those techniques that you can use to bring your mind back to where you are. So that, yeah, I'm with you 100% right there. In regards to mindfulness and all of that.
no doubt. And it's important for us to incorporate that within our family system, in our family unit. I have a 2-year-old son. Well, it's going to be 3 exactly a month from today.
Okay.
So I'll have a 3-year-old in a month. Gosh, what in the world? But my son, I want to teach him. I want to teach him to be individual. And mindfulness starts whenever you want it to. Again, as parents, as individuals, leaders, community members, whatever define yourself as, it's important for us to be models for this type of behavior, models for our families, models for our people. You know what I mean? Just at the workforce, we have to do ourselves on a constant basis.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're not, and we're not inflicting that upon our family and our children, then we're doing them a significant disservice. When my son does acts up, you know, instead of just screaming and yelling, like, look at him in the face and I make eye contact with him because I want him to be in this moment. What you did was wrong. I love you, but I want you to correct. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that positive reinforcement, you know what I'm saying? So I want him to understand that what you did here was good, but we can correct it. That's life, though. We make mistakes. The idea is to learn from mistakes. Nobody on this planet is perfect, and
No.
that's, you know what I'm saying. So that's okay. That's okay. But like the beauty of life is to learn and to grow and to evolve, and that's where we need to be at.
Awesome, awesome. Now I'm gonna jump right into this because I think it's kind of related. You actually wrote a blog post on my page in regards to your spiritual journey, which has nothing to do with religion. Anyone listening, I want you to talk briefly about your spiritual journey and how could others do the same thing in their own lives.
Yeah, you know, I enjoyed writing that piece, by the way. You know, I think I called it Transcendence and Transformation, a spiritual journey. And, you know, I was just thinking about, you know, my life in the spiritual journey in general. As you said, Cam, those that are listening, the spiritual journey doesn't necessarily have to be meaning a belief in a God or anything like that. Like my personal beliefs, like I believe in a higher power. But a spiritual journey is, I feel like we all have a spiritual journey of some sort, no matter how you look at it. And that mindfulness piece is a big piece of that spiritual journey. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
and so, you know, my journey, where I ended up, I did not anticipate being here at all, you know, and to go even further, you know, this is gonna sound, you know, this is always something I think about for myself. I hated public speaking more than anything. Like I would have rather swim with sharks than get in front of a group of people and and talk fast. So, you know, 10, 11 years ago when I'm in high school or even Matt at this point, 10 years ago, I was an undergrad. So longer than that, when I was in high school, I literally would get sick to my stomach to the point where I would throw up. And I absolutely hated it. I realized like my spiritual journey led me to OpenedEyes, which I had to realize, okay, I need to be an outspoken individual. Like I have a message, I have a voice. I got to get over this. I have
Mm-hmm.
to, because if I don't speak, then I'm not rising up to the occasion, and I'm not rising up to my calling. And I have a calling, and we all have a calling in some way, shape, or form. And it took me a while to realize what I wanted to do. But my part of my journey was that fear of public speaking, right? So I had to confront it. I had to look at it. I had to look at this fear, and I had to say, I'm not going to let you stop me from being great. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm making you. I'm giving you power. I'm giving that thing, that stressor, that fear, power. We give things power. Things don't just take it away from us. It's important for us again to be mindful of what we're giving our power and energy to. So we have to take that. We have to look at the situation that we're faced with. We have to look at our journey and say, this is my journey. This is my thing. This is my passion. I love it, and I'm going to keep going forward. Does that mean it's going to be easy? Hell no. It is not going to be easy at all, and nothing worth having is. And I'll be
Mm-hmm.
honest with you, struggle to me is a form of love. If we don't know struggle, we don't know joy, no triumph. We don't know, you know, celebration. We don't know any of that. We don't know the magnitude of that. Is what I'm trying to say. And so I think it's essential for us to again to be mindful in that regard.
Okay, man, you speaking facts right now. Woo! Woo! I'm excited.
We don't fire.
I appreciate it. So, so I'm gonna throw some questions out there, just some fun questions because um,
Uh-oh.
you know, you have no idea what questions these are, just so that way people can kind of connect with you a little bit in a different way. So, the first question is, if you could compare yourself with any animal, which would it be and why?
I would have to say, man, I'm a big Wolf fan. You know, big Wolf.
Are you like the big bad wolf or something?
Like, man, I have like a and it has something to do with my Native American culture, my heritage. Like, I love the symbols of wolves. And what does that quote says? Lions, and they may be more powerful because of play in the circus. Like, so you know what I mean? I don't play in the circus, man. I'm real deal Holyfield. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, man, I love wolves, bro. Like, and I've always been a big I like werewolves. I like werewolf movies.
Okay.
It's just like a thing. So the wolf is just where I'm at.
Were you a big Twilight fan?
Absolutely not. What is comment on my beard? Yeah, yeah, like that, bro.
All right,
Yeah,
next question.
not. I like the rough and rugged stuff. Give me like Underworld. Give me,
Okay, I can get with Underworld with
you know
Kate
what I'm saying?
Beckinsale. Yeah.
I love Kate Beckinsale. Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. I have two more for you. You're a new addition to the crayon box. What color would you be and why?
Oh my gosh.
I know I'm throwing some curveballs at you.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm just thinking Periwinkle, just because I like the name of the I like to say Periwinkle. So I don't even know what color Periwinkle is.
You remember?
So
Did you watch Blue's Clues?
I did watch Blue's Clues.
You remember the Periwinkle cat?
Oh yes,
That's
I do.
Periwinkle.
Okay. I'll say that just because I like the name. No other reason.
Okay. I do like that color too. I ain't gonna lie.
To be real, I'm a big fan of red. I love red, so I'll probably be red. That's my favorite color.
There you go.
There we go. Boss up.
All right, last question. Well, that's a random question. If you could only choose one song to play every time you walked into a room for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I'd have to say, man, it has to be a Tupac song, and it would have to be Changes, because I am a big Changes fan. And yes, Carrie, I did say Periwinkle because it's like, just say the name real quick. I mean, it's great. I'd have to say Tupac Changes. When it's and the reason I'm a big Tupac fan in general. I know that sounds like a very generic thing to say. Who's your favorite rapper of all time? Tupac Shakur. But Tupac for me was more than just like a rapper. Like, his music that like healing to me during very rough times. It's like it's very spiritual, and he helped me get out of a lot of tough times. So I have to say, I could listen to Tupac Change every day. It was one of the first hip hop songs that I actually listened to that got me interested in hip hop. So that's one of my forever favorite songs. Of course, Tupac's catalog, timeless and endless.
Oh, no doubt.
But that's just one of the songs that stick out to me.
I still remember when you dressed up for Halloween, that one Halloween dressed like Tupac, and you had Thug Life across your belt, across. In Kansas City, well, there's probably a picture. I wish I had the picture pulled up so I could show everyone.
Float around, but I had to tag myself on that. I got reputation.
I remember that Halloween.
Like Thug Life.
Yes. All right. So I want to kind of give some people, let's check some comments and things like that. Any questions that anyone has. That way, since we have you on here, let's see. Board it. Some good looking boys there. Thank you. Someone's comment on you being a suicide prevention coordinator. Let's see. What else? We have an awesome story, Brandon. Thank you for sharing. I'm sure that you scratch the surface of who you are and why you do with your organization. Motivational speaking. Yep. Let's see. Board it. I'm just looking through. My father has always been big on mindfulness. I never understood until my daughter was born 3 weeks ago. I'm starting to put more thought into it now. Would love some pointers for a new dad. Yeah, I mean, we could start with that. Any new pointers for a new dad?
Man, I'll tell you what, one of the most beautiful things in my life. Like, I'll never son was born. I'll never, ever, ever forget it. How nervous I was, excited I was, how just, it's amazing and it's beautiful that you can love someone that you've never met. And I just loved my son. I was in love with him, and I never met him, but we had this connection already, even before I seen what he looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing, and it puts a lot into perspective about life and about direction and about just where we're at and where we're gonna go. And you know, just enjoy the ride. You know, to new dad guy, enjoy the ride, enjoy every moment. Don't blink, don't and don't take it for granted, because you know every moment that I son or my son lays on me or wants to be cuddled up with me, I'm taking that opportunity. I'm taking that chance, because that's not going to be necessarily for one day. He's going to be bigger than me, you know, and he probably won't want to sit, you know, lay on me like that. You know, he's just going to be like, "Get off me, dad," and like you'll try to fight me, and then I have to, you know, beat his little butt, and you know, I'll always be able to check him. And but no, it's beautiful. It's enjoy it and put that into perspective. Use this mindfulness piece. Kids can teach us a lot. They can slow us down and they can humble us. And now I live for myself. You know, obviously, you know, my goals, but my goals are now his goals. You know, I want to do good for myself and be good for him. And that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing. And I would absolutely die for my son. I would do anything for him. And it's just a whole new way of this is beautiful. And so you, uh, dad, just enjoy the moment, love it, love your child unconditionally. And it goes by too fast. Like I said, my son's 3 next month, so um, just cherish it.
Okay. And then let's see. Borg said, "What is your response? Many tend to blame an organization, hence a higher power, instead of individuals who make up the organization. If someone blames a religion over their judgment and past actions, what is your response?" Then he also commented, "Yeah, that beard though."
um, well, you know, to me that's a cop out. You know what I mean? Like when we blame other things, or when we blame people or organizations, or you know, I don't mean to be forward. To me, it's like a cop out. You know, we gotta take responsibility for our own, and that's not to say that people don't do crappy. That's to say not, you know, people don't do bad. But at the same time, you know, we are in control of our own actions, right? So I can't control anybody else. Can't control anybody else's actions. You know, I always say it's an internal versus. I can't control the external necessarily all the time, but I can definitely always control how certain situations. So
Right.
internally, check myself, and again, that's part of mindfulness based type of behavior. So it's important for us to be aware of that. What I mean, so yeah, so you know, we had to take responsibility for our own. You know, that's just what it comes down to, and like I said, we're gonna do crazy, messed up things, and that's the way people are. We can't control that, and we can only control our. So that's what I have to say to that.
Okay. Next question I have from someone. How do you begin the conversation with kids who may have anxiety around being an other in school?
Yeah, that's I've had this discussion numerous times. I think that our job is to, especially with our kids, is to empower our kids to listen, to be active listeners. I was talking about earlier, that active listening piece is so essential. So to hear them out, how do you feel? You know, how do you feel about being, you know, the other, or because and me personally, I was the other too, because I was in between, like in like two worlds. I felt like, you know, and trying to be one thing or trying to be other, trying to dress this way, trying to talk that way, all this ridiculous stuff. Always, especially people like, you know, racial kids, but you know, it's hard you know, especially like the only minority kid in all, you know, predominantly, let's say, white school. It's tough, you know, and I'm sure it poses some challenges. But I think what we were saying earlier about, you know, having the conversation with our family and being with them and taking that mentality of family oriented conversations and actually sitting down and engaging with and looking them in the face making eye contact. What we're doing is transitioning, we're transferring, empowerment, we're transferring confidence. And so no matter what situation we find ourselves in, we're going to be confident in who we are despite our environment. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the biggest thing is being confident in knowing who you are. And of course, I want to expose myself and my son to a whole bunch of different backgrounds and cultures and things like that. So finding areas and finding reasons to be able to do that, it's a beautiful thing. It's wonderful. But we have to instill in our children, and that's important. And we have to have those conversations and just have that one-on-one human interaction that sometimes I feel like we lack.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see any more questions that anyone has else besides. Yeah, did you say Periwinkle? He did say Periwinkle. Called Tupac. All right.
Oh, new dad didn't even hear what I had to say. New dad, you
I'll
missed it, man.
I'll be posting this. You can go back and check it out. Um, yeah, we did touch upon that, but I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I will definitely post this for you so that way you can definitely check out what exactly he said. So now, Brandon, I just got a couple more things for you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Um, as far as like a presentation and things like that, what audiences do you target for your presentations and your training, and how can someone get a hold of you?
So, our organization is, I use the word multifaceted because we are a program that hits on a lot of different areas. We hit on the idea of leadership. We hit on the idea of implicit bias, of positive identity, of peer relationships, um, group cohesion, how to be cohesive in your work environment, how to be cohesive with your peer group, so on and so forth. And so we hit on these various topics. And, of course, our website is www.open-eyes.com. And we have an opportunity, you guys, you can email me at open-eyes.com and reach out we do like a little assessment, figure out, what are the needs are their organization, whatever, and we'll figure out how we can be of service. So again, it's this whole thing is an onion, and there's layers to it, and we hit a whole bunch of different groups, man. Kids, young adults, higher ed, staff, faculty of universities, people in organizations. So it's about organizational and institutional reform too. These are the things that we're advocating for. And so we touch on various topics with a whole array of different populations. We can literally take our curriculum and adapt it to meet the need. That's why I like to do the needs assessment, so we can figure out how we can formulate our curriculum to match, what you guys want. So it's very fluid, and originally OpenedEyes was designed for young kids specifically. But Cameron, as you know, we started
Mm-hmm.
getting universities, we started getting businesses and organizations, and hey, we need diversity training, we need some implicit bias training, we need some help and direction on how we can formulate and be a better structured organization. And so when I noticed that was, I'm like, wow, there's a need for it. So it was almost presented that we need to evolve, we need to manifest the idea even further and have a greater reach. So we hit on everybody, and our curriculum can match the need of the organization and or school.
Okay, and then got another question pop in. What can the white community do better to help make a difference, especially for being a future parent with our kids?
Well, no, that's a great question, and I got to refer back to my interaction with that white woman who was at our event. She asked what she can do to and Bordick. I know Bordick's going to be a parent soon, so congratulations to you.
Yes, congrats, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, bro. And so, with that being said, I think first and foremost, it's listening. The white community has to be involved with social justice related issues. Period. Point. Like they have to be. If they're not becoming knowledgeable, and then we're only setting ourselves back a long time. And you know, we stretch back to the 1960s, and we look at the civil rights movement, we look at the Black Panthers, we look at all of these. There was white people involved with those movements. You know what I'm saying? So they notice the idea of their privilege, and I know people don't like to hear this, but I have to say it, and I'm going to give an example of why. We have to talk about white privilege, and people say, "What do you mean white privilege? Like, I've struggled my whole life." No. White privilege is not that. White privilege is not saying that you've never struggled in your entire life. It's just that's not what it is. It's just saying that your skin color wasn't one of those struggles. And in fact, there's power in privilege. Example, I'm an able-bodied man, right? And I'm using my friend's quotes on this too when she describes privilege. So her name is Shannon, so I got to give her props on this. But I'm an able-bodied man, right? So I don't have to call ahead to restaurants. I don't have to, call ahead to airports to find out about handicap accessibility. I can just show up at the restaurant. I can just show up at the airport, once I buy my ticket. I don't have to worry about that. That's my privilege. I have a master's degree with a license. That means I can get certain jobs I can't get. That's a privilege. And I want people to understand that white privilege isn't a bad thing. And I think there's just a negative connotation with it. It's like, yo, you can use your white privilege for good and great things, to be an ally for social justice related issues. White privilege is not a bad thing. And it's not saying that you never struggled in your life. It's not saying that you never had any hardships. I wish people would get off of that. That's not what that is. We all have certain privileges. As an able-bodied man, I'm going to help my friends who are handicapped. I'm going to fight for their rights and hopefully better handicap accessibility within our buildings, within the airport, within restaurants, so on and so forth. We can do all of that. We can use our privilege for the greater good. And people just don't hear that. Again, active listening. People when they hear white privilege, they immediately want to listen to respond, not listen to understand. And that's their problem. And you have to be willing to hear people out and what they're saying. We always want to hear certain. Now, granted, not everybody might explain white privilege the way I do or somebody else, but that's essentially what we're saying. Essentially what it is, and that's privilege in general. And I like to use those examples because I have privilege. As a person of color, I have a privilege. And again, I have a master's degree. I'm licensed, by the state. And I'm gonna use my privilege for good. I'm not gonna use it. I'm not gonna get offended by it. So all that stuff needs to stop. And
well, when you say that, and I want to put this in a perspective, like I remember she was a white woman. She was I have a friend. She's from South Africa, but she lives in Bermuda, and she was saying that she doesn't understand why we're U.S. citizens. We have a certain privilege in the world that others don't. Like for her, she's white. They have their privilege in South Africa. For her to come over to the U.S., she has to buy a visa every 5 years, and it costs her $1,000. I can't remember if it was like $1,000 or $1,200, but that's just for our country alone. If she wants to go to England, she has to buy another visa. She wants to go to it is crazy. From our standpoint, when we talk about privilege, but again, using that privilege for a positive versus you're trying to tune someone out. I think you hit the nail on the head right there. So on that note, man, we're gonna wrap up. I know people got things to do.
Thank you, Jax. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, you are amazing, man. On this note, I want you to end things by giving us some words of wisdom to leave with.
Well, we're in some very trying times right now, and with the pandemic, COVID-19, just our country in general. So we got a lot going on. We have a lot of work we have to do, but we have to look at the positives, and we have to remain optimistic in every regard possible. So I just want to encourage people to maintain and to improve every day. Be the best version of yourself. politics aside, all that bullshit aside, is part of my French, all that other stuff aside, put it away. Focus on you. Be the best version of yourself, because that's all that we have. And if we can't improve on who we need to be, then we're doing ourselves and the world around us and the people around us a disservice. And I want you to evolve, to grow. I want you to continue to be beautiful. Are all beautiful and unique on our own. Discover yourself, discover who you are. Do things that make you come alive, and just be blessed, beautiful, and continue to push on and fight for social justice in every regard, so we can learn to respect one another and have these difficult conversations with one another, because it's so important. So I just want to throw that out there to everybody, and to continue to just be great and be the best version.
Awesome, man. I really appreciate that. I think that's a great way to end things. I really appreciate you taking time this evening to chat with everyone, and I appreciate all of you that's supporting, our organization, Supportive Fathers and OpenedEyes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'll be sure to post it so everyone can watch it that didn't get to watch everything or miss something, so that way you can reference back. Just quickly, Brandon, if someone wants to find you and reach out to you through social media and your website, could you let us know what that is again?
Yeah, absolutely. So our website is www.openedeyes.com. That's our website. Our Facebook page is OpenedEyes, one word. Our obviously our Instagram is up there, OE_what are you? And we do trainings. We are currently getting ready to gear up to do trainings for the nonprofit partnership. We are getting ready to do trainings for police department. We got a whole bunch of great things going on, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of great things going on, man. So just look out for us, and we're gonna be out there doing what we gotta do. So we just look out for us and check us out.
All right, awesome. And they can find you on Twitter too, right?
Yes, they can find us on Twitter too. Cam, you know the Twitter name, man. I forgot the Twitter name, bro.
I think it's pretty sure the same as the Instagram, OE_what are you?
Twitter is OE_what are you? Check us out on Twitter too, man.
All right, man. All right, I'm gonna wrap things up. I appreciate. What's that?
I said I appreciate everybody.
Thank you, everybody. I hope everyone have a great evening. All right.
All right, my man. Thank you.
Hey, see you later, man.
All right, bro.
Yep. All right, bye. See you later, everyone.